All right, let's dive right in. If you've been endlessly scrolling, trying to find a straightforward way to build some strength and boost your cardio without blowing your budget on fancy equipment or a pricey gym membership, well, you are in the exact right place. In today's explainer, we're breaking down the ultimate beginner 5-step home workout. We've combed your expert guidance from the NHS, top fitness trainers, and the International Sports Sciences Association to bring you a completely zero equipment, highly accessible routine. So go ahead and clear a little space in your living room, get ready to focus, and let's break down exactly how you can safely and effectively train your body today.
So here is our roadmap for the session. We're going to take this step by step. Step 1 is the warm-up. Step 2, we get into knee jacks. Step 3, step back jacks. Step 4 brings us to mountain climbers. And finally, step 5, the cool down.
Let's jump right into step 1, the warm-up.
I know. It is incredibly tempting to just skip straight to the sweaty, high-energy part of the workout, right? But expert guidance from the West Suffolk NHS Foundation Trust strictly emphasizes that safely prepping your body for movement is absolutely non-negotiable. Warming up isn't just a polite suggestion, it's physiological preparation. When you actually take the time to do a thorough warm-up, you're actively prepping your cardiovascular system. This phase raises your body temperature and dramatically increases blood flow to your muscles. Doing this literally lessens the chance of sore muscles later on and significantly drops your overall risk of injury. Think of it like warming up a car engine on a freezing winter morning. You know you need to get that oil moving before you hit the highway.
Okay, so we begin our physical warm-up right at the top. For neck flexions, you simply look up to the ceiling and then down to the floor. And just repeat that 3 times. Paired with this are neck rotations. You're going to gently look to the left and then to the right, repeating twice on each side. These are super small, controlled movements, but they're amazing for releasing upper body tension before we even start engaging the larger muscle groups.
Moving down to the lower body, the NHS guidance suggests marching on the spot for about 30 steps. The key here is just moving at your own pace, don't rush it. Then transition into heel digs, tapping forward with your heel on one foot and then the other, repeating twice on each leg. This gently wakes up those calves, hamstrings, and ankles. Once you've done these, your body is primed, your joints are lubricated, and you're officially ready for the main event.
Which brings us to step 2, knee jacks.
This is where we transition from prepping the body into our very first real cardio movement to start building some actual momentum. To perfectly illustrate the kind of energy we want to bring here, check out this quote from a popular kids exercise channel. They just count it out. In 3, 2, 1, go! 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on up to 10. I absolutely love this because it perfectly captures the simple, high-energy rhythm you need for high knee jacks. You don't need complicated choreography, you just need to count it out and get those knees up. It's that simple, rhythmic pacing that really drives a workout forward. Just driving your knees up, alternating legs, gets your heart rate climbing beautifully, and you barely need any floor space to do it.
Now, on to step 3, step back jacks.
Now that your heart is definitely pumping, we're moving seamlessly into our standing cardio progression. This ensures that your elevated heart rate is maintained, but safely and effectively. Let's break down the form for this fantastic move. First, you just start by standing completely upright. Second, step 1 foot back behind you, really engaging those leg muscles. Third, simply alternate your legs. The true beauty of the step back jack is in its progression. You start out slow to master the coordination, and then, to get the absolute maximum cardiovascular benefit, you just slowly increase your speed. It gives you all the heart-pumping benefits of a traditional jumping jack, but it's entirely low impact. That means it's so much kinder to your knees and ankles.
All right, step 4, mountain climbers.
We are now hitting the absolute peak of our routine with a total powerhouse, zero equipment move, highly recommended by the International Sports Sciences Association, or ISSA. But look, before we move a single muscle, we have to talk about the setup because form is literally everything here. You're going to start in a high plank position. Your hands must be planted directly under your shoulders and your feet should be hip distance apart. But here is the most crucial part. You need to engage your core to create a perfectly straight line from your head right down through your toes. You don't want to round it back, and you definitely don't want your hips sagging or sticking way up in the air. A strong, stable base is the secret to a successful mountain climber. Once you have that setup locked in, you just drive your right knee towards your chest, tap the toe, return, and alternate.
There's a huge reason the ISA recommends this movement so highly. Just look at the muscle groups targeted here. We're hitting the core, upper, middle, and lower abs, obliques, and the lower back. We're hitting the shoulders and arms, deltoids and triceps, literally just by holding that high plank stability. And of course, the driving movement itself targets the upper and lower legs, including your glutes, quads, and hamstrings. It's a single, incredibly versatile movement that works almost every major muscle group in the human body. Talk about a real game changer. It saves you massive amounts of time compared to isolating all these muscles one by one.
Now, you might be wondering, what if the standard floor version is just a bit too intense right now? Hey, that is perfectly fine. We can easily swap the standard floor mountain climber for a highly effective modification, the inclined mountain climber. If you're a beginner, or maybe you have some upper body restrictions, you simply place your hands on a sturdy object, like a heavy bench or a solid chair, so your upper body is higher than your lower body. Doing this dramatically decreases the stress on your shoulders and arms, while still giving you that fantastic core and cardio workout. There is absolutely always a way to adapt.
And finally, step 5, the cool down. Okay, you've put in the work, your heart is racing, and now it's time for our final phase. Just like the warm-up, this step is absolutely critical. So why do we cool down instead of just, collapsing on the couch the second our mountain climbers are done? Well, the NHS explicitly warns that stopping exercise abruptly can cause your blood pressure to drop dramatically. If you just suddenly stop movement when your heart is pounding, you risk feeling extremely dizzy or even fainting. Nobody wants that. A proper cool down allows your heart rate and your blood pressure to gradually recover back to their pre-exercise levels. It essentially signals to your body that the stress is over, making this phase absolutely mandatory for a safe workout.
Let's look at how we actually execute this recovery, starting with the upper body. For the shoulder stretch, just pull one arm across your chest and hold it there with your other arm for a count of 5 to 10 seconds. Then simply swap sides. Next, we move to the tricep stretch. Put one arm straight up in the air, drop your hand down your back, and gently hold your elbow with the opposite hand for another 5 to 10 seconds. These stretches are vital because they drastically lessen the risk of post-exercise muscle ache in those arms and shoulders we just worked so hard.
Working our way down to the lower body recovery now. For the hamstring stretch, you're going to place one leg forward, carefully keeping that front knee straight. Stick your bottom out and lean forward just slightly, holding for 5 to 10 seconds. For the calf stretch, place one leg forward and bend the front knee, but, and this is the key here, keep the back knee totally straight. Hold that for 5 to 10 seconds as well. Cooling down like this physically lengthens the muscle fibers that have just been contracting and working so hard for you.
All right, before we completely wrap up, we really need to run through a few critical NHS safety tips. First, always wear comfortable clothing and secure footwear. Second, hydration is key for sure. Always have some water on hand. Third, you need to pace yourself using what's called the Borg scale. You should aim for a maximum of a Borg 3. Now, what does that mean? It simply means moderate breathlessness. If you are gasping for air and can't speak, you need to pull back and rest. And finally, please remember this golden rule. Stretches should never be painful. If you feel sharp joint pain, ease up. Only stretch within your own comfortable range of motion.
This structured plan really brilliantly illustrates the power of a proper routine, doesn't it? We've gone from a physiological warm-up right through to dynamic cardio, hit a full-body peak with mountain climbers, and safely brought our heart rate back down. You now have the ultimate 5-step beginner home workout blueprint right at your fingertips. No gym, no equipment, literally no excuses. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You have the knowledge, you've got the science, so what time are you starting your home workout today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.